All right. So welcome, you guys. This is our first level up. Are you excited? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're excited. Drop a 2 in the chat if you're not. Does anyone have is anyone like ballsy enough to say, put a 2 in the chat? No? Okay. All right. So here's the deal. We are excited to offer this to you guys. What we initially decided we were going to do and what we are doing now are two different things. So I just want to give you a little background and let you know what we're doing and why we're doing it. Okay. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Karen Fettis. Hannah's on here, Carol's on here, and we also have some of Shelly's leaders, most likely, but she's not on here tonight. Okay. Kind of nervous. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous, Sarah. So initially we were going to break into 3 different groups this year. So we were going to do our DQs and above. We were going to do our prior directors who had rolled back to Superstar Consultant. And then we were going to do our star and our Superstar Consultants. And there's only so many hours in the week. And there's only so many evening opportunities for connection and Zooming and that kind of thing. As we talk through, and I was the one that kind of wanted to break it into 3 different groups. And as we kind of talk through the Superstar directors, we had a long Zoom and we kind of talked through it and realized really what the star and Superstar Consultants need is the same as what the prior directors who have rolled back to Superstar Consultant need, right? What you guys all really kind of need is growth, right? And you need to, put a pretty good focus on your personal business, obviously spend some time on your team, but what you needed was in some ways the same thing. And so we decided to combine the groups into one. And in doing so, we can actually give you a little more training and connection because we can meet twice as often as what we were going to do originally. Okay. So we set up this group. So it is open to star and Superstar Consultants. And that's it. So there's no lead consultants, there's no DQs, no one. This is your space. This is your safe space. We're hoping everyone here has the objective and goal to promote to director. This is not just a free pass group. I will tell you that. We do have some, I hate to use the word obligations. We have some things you're going to need to do as a member of this group, right? Because we want to give you the tools and resources and skills to move your business to the next level. So there are going to be some things that, some accountability, okay? And when I say accountability, I don't mean accountability partners, although we might throw that in at some point, but that's not what I mean up front. So we are going to Zoom twice a month. We are going to Zoom at this time, the first Tuesday of the month and the third Tuesday of the month. Okay, 8 Central or 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Flory, I should have gotten out my little thing and put it up with all the time zones on it. And so we're going to do it twice a month. We are going to give you some targeted training in the first half of it. Okay, we'll have a training topic. We're going to we're going to talk about what your challenges are. We're going to offer you some kind of training piece. You're going to have some kind of assignment, challenge, or homework to leave with. And then the second half will be open to you guys, as I said, for community connection. It's going to be your own lounge just for you all. Okay, so a safe place that you can. And so why do we do a lounge kind of by title? We have the Wednesday lounge. It's open to everyone regardless of title, but we want to give you guys a safe place that you can ask questions that maybe you don't want your downline to hear you asking. There could be questions about leadership. It could be questions about how to lead them, but it also could just be some basic questions about your business. And maybe you would be embarrassed to ask those questions in front of them. So this is your safe space. The Facebook group is set up just for you all as well. Okay. Now, I would really, really, really like that to be an active and engaging Facebook group. So what I want to set the expectation up front. This is not a Facebook group for us. It's not for Shelly, Hannah, Carol, and I. This is your group. It is not a place just for us to post reminders for you guys to show up. This is your group. This is where you guys can start building and growing community. You can ask questions, you can share what you're doing, you can hashtag how I'm working. Anything that you guys share is going to be of value and benefit to everyone else. And anything you post, if it's obviously a question, it's a safe space. But if you post something that's working for you, post it with the expectation that others can share it as well, or try it, right? Okay. So that is why we set up this group for you all. I know we weren't planning to combine you all initially, but it just made more sense as we talked about it. So that's what we're doing. There is also going to be a tracker, and Hannah's going to kind of go into that and talk about why it's important to do those kind of things. So just to recap, we're going to meet twice a month. Okay, we're going to meet the first and the third Tuesdays of the month. The first time we meet, it's going to be more based on things for you and your business. And when we meet the third week of the month, it's going to be more on things for your team. Things you can do to help your team, grow your team, all of that kind of thing. So, and the reason for that is, it's a pretty well-known philosophy that you work your business earlier in the month and you front load your personal business. And that gives you time near the end of the month to help those team members that are trying to reach milestones and promotions and all that kind of thing. So our training will be in line with that. So, does anyone have any questions? Let's see. I guess there are questions in the chat. Will you get booted if you can't make it? So I think each superstar director is kind of going to set their own guidelines for that. There is expectation of commitment and continuation and that kind of thing. Are you going to talk about the PRV requirement? Yeah. Okay. There is, we do have expectations that if you are part of this group, we want you actively working your business and trying to grow your business, right? We are recording, as I said, that training piece though. So know that will be there so you can go back and you can look at it afterwards as well. But please do show up. I think it'll be, to everyone talk to their superstar director. We do know that life happens sometimes and that kind of thing. So, okay, I'm going to pass it to Hannah.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I love that I see new faces and I see familiar faces and some I just see names. So that's okay. So excited. I'm going to share with you the screen, and I actually just posted this in our group. So you can, you've disabled screen sharing. Why is that? You don't want to see my tracker?
No, I don't even, I never disable it.
Can you make me a co-host maybe? And maybe that'll.
Yeah, but usually anyone can share their screen.
I know.
Yeah, of course I can make you a co-host.
Zoom is like my printer today. It doesn't want to work. Just it's like, there we go. Okay. All right. So here is our tracker. And I'll point out a couple things to you guys. But one of the reasons that we love to use trackers is because we want to see you create these habits within your business. And when you start to create a habit, you can't just automatically be like, okay, I'm just going to do this and not really have like a way to track or a way for accountability. And so that's really what this weekly business tracker is. It's accountability, and it's a way for you to track what you're doing. It's a way for your superstar director to check in and say, hey, you know what, maybe you could, step it up in this area. Maybe we could work on this. How is this going? And so that is why a tracker is super helpful. We want you to be doing 5 days a week out of this tracker. We are huge components on self-care, and we are even bigger advocates for family time. And so we don't want you to be like, oh my goodness, I have to stop playing with my kids so I can go do my tracker. We will discourage that. But what we want you to be able to do is to take, maybe it's 15 to 30 minutes 5 days a week, and you're able to knock out the things on your tracker. Now, there's different areas of the tracker that focus on different areas of your business. So each superstar director has kind of set out requirements for you to participate in this program. They may differ a little bit between us. We're generally kind of on the same page. But one of the reasons why we set those requirements is because you guys have said, I want to be a part of this and I want to move my business forward. If you're not willing to put in the effort in those requirements, then really the program isn't for you, because we want people that are willing to put in the effort, right? Like, I don't want that to sound harsh, but it was even when the quote, Karen, of like, we have a lot of people that say they want to do things, but when it comes down to putting the pedal to the metal, they can't find the pedal, right?
Yep.
Like, and so that's where we're like, you guys, you got to find the pedal, and we are here to support you and give you all the tools to do that. And because we want to see you moving forward, and we want to see you press the pedal and go in your business.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
Hannah?
Yeah.
And if this is my we didn't talk about this, but I think we're probably all on the same page on this as well. You know, like I said, we are wanting you to grow in your business. And if you at the end of the Zoom find this overwhelming and you're like, this is not where I want to go with my business, that's absolutely fine. You still have opportunities every week with us. We have Ascend Academy that's at 9 o'clock Eastern every Tuesday. So you still have access to training every single week. And we still have Lounge on Wednesdays. It's open to consultants of all levels. So there are still opportunities if you're overwhelmed by this, but we've set this up in a way that's not time intensive and really is focusing on the things that will grow your business. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay to be in those two different spots, right? We recognize that, and we are okay with that. We love to work with the willing to work, if that makes sense too. So, okay. So looking at the tracker, so up at the top, you have a spot to put in your starting PRV, your starting TWV, and your starting team size for that week. This has to do with a couple of requirements that we have for being in the program. So we want to see your PRV moving, we want to see your TWV moving, and we want to see your team moving as well, whether that is in team size or conversations for recruiting, whatever that requirement is that your superstar director has set. So you should have like a minimum that your superstar director set of maybe 500 PRV to be involved in this program. We want to see this growing on your trackers week by week, right? So that's pretty simple. A goal for the week. What is your goal for this week? Sometimes, you guys, it's literally contact 20 customers. It's maybe close my parties. It's get through the week. Sometimes, right? We all have different goals for the week. But just laying it out, putting it on paper, being able to see it really helps your mind and focus on that, and your tasks to focus on that as well. And then we have throughout, the first part is called Fill Your Cup. We are, like I said, we're big components on self-care. You have to take care of yourself and your mindset before you can focus on anybody else. If you are trying to pull things from an empty tank, it just doesn't work. It looks crappy. You're drained. You're tired. It's not all yourself. So fill your cup first. And that is with mindset growth. That's with journaling, affirmations, personal development, which could be like reading a book, listening to a podcast, whatever that looks like for you. That's what we want you to do to there. And it can look different every single day. Some days I like to listen to a podcast. Some days I like to read my book. Some days I like to listen to a TikTok guy like Brian Bouchard. Like, he'll sometimes give for like 15 minutes. I'll just sit and listen to him, whatever. I think that's his name, Brian, Ben, BB, something.
Brendan, yeah.
Brendan
Close,
Bouchard.
Brendan,
Yeah.
BB. I just go BB. That's what whatever. Anyway, and we can suggest good things for you guys. If you want suggestions for that, we would love to give you suggestions. Move your body, work out. That looks different for all of us. Sometimes it's for me, my back is a little broken, but sometimes for me, it's literally like moving my feet underneath my desk as I'm working throughout the day. It could be walking. For Carol, it could be like going and lifting 500 pounds. It looks different for all of us, but just move your body somehow. And then 15 minutes of meditation, quiet, or devotions, whatever that looks like for you, and get your water in. It's super, super important. Water is the life of you. And so be drinking your water. That all has to do with just filling your cup, right? Just self-care. Then the next part is about serving people at your table. Guys, if there's one thing that I love about a table is it brings people together. How many of you like have a table and you're like, this is where we always play games. This is when we have family meals, we eat at the table. Magic happens at a table. I even like have some saying in my dining room about like life happens at my table. And so this is where you're going to be serving the people that are at your table or in your business. So engaging and participating in your VIP group, this is huge. How are you getting sales? How are you sharing tips and ideas? Are you going live in there? Having a weekly customer connection, which is one-on-one, either sending out a text message to a customer. We have found, and my word for the year is connection. We have found that people feel valued, stay around, buy your product, get more involved in your business when they feel connected. And so a huge part is get connected to your customers. Like go comment on 15 of your customers' posts and say happy birthday, or hey, saw your daughter is doing this, or oh my gosh, I love cooking, whatever. Like start getting connected with your customers. Send them a text message and just say, hey, Jen, I was thinking about you today. Hope you're doing well, whatever. So get connected, celebrate your frontline, do the same thing with your frontline too. Connect with them. If you see Jen put in an order of $200, go and send her text message that says, Jen, awesome job. Loved, what did you do? How did your party go? Or even if you see them have an awesome post on Facebook, you could go congratulate them somehow. You all have different varying of team size as well. So, if you have a bigger team, you might be wanting to contact maybe 2 to 3, challenge yourself. The more connection, like I just can't express this to you guys. There's not too much connection. Like if you feel like, oh, they're going to get sick of me, like let them get sick of you. Like connect. And the last one is team connection as a group or one-on-one with a teammate. We know that the one above is focusing on your frontline and your team. This one is more of like as a whole. How are you contacting them? Are you doing a group chat? Are you posting? Do you have a team page? Are you posting on there? Are you sharing a YouTube video with your whole team and chatting about it? Doing a training or something like that too. So, all right, then build a big business. You guys want to go up. You want to be bigger in your business. So this is how you're going to be building it. And this is more maybe the application of like working within your own business. So the first one is respond to any messages that you may have, like through customers or even your team, and watch a training video. You guys, there's so much training out there. Anything that you have a question on, like sales, parties, recruiting, anything, YouTube it. I'm telling you, YouTube, it's out there. And we can even point you in the right direction too. Follow up. The key is in follow up. Guys, when I started following up in my business, my PRV grew by 300%. So right now, take your average PRV, if you're an average 500er, and if you were to times that by 300%, you would have 1,500 in PRV average a month. Can you imagine if that just like overnight happened? It is in follow-up. So if you don't have a follow-up system, find it, dig into it. We will help you with that too as well. But we want you to be making at least 3 follow-up connections a day. And then invite a new person to the business. This is recruiting. How do you grow? You grow by recruiting. That's the number one thing that's holding most of you back from where you want to be going, is growing your team and getting more people on your team. It's just a proven fact, stat, whatever, throughout all of Scentsy that the the tough part of Scentsy, I guess you could say, is the recruiting, because Scentsy provides us with the sales. They provide us with the LTOs, with the catalog. We can all do that. We're all great at that, but it's finding the new people and having them on your team and growing your team. That's the hard part. It's the hard part for us too, as well. So the more that you ask, the more that you're going to open your mouth and ask, and the more that people are going to respond to you. So inviting at least one person to have the business opportunity, and you guys, don't overcomplicate it. My favorite way to ask people to join Scentsy is, have you ever thought about joining Scentsy? It's simple as that. It's literally, I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm an Enneagram 8. I'm like, have you thought about this? Because you should. So anyway, make it super simple. Then the next one is expand your circle of friends. You guys, when I started Scentsy, I knew literally 2 people in Wisconsin, and we had just moved here. I only had 2 friends. And so I had to literally expand my circle, go out and find new friends. And so that's what's going to help grow your business too, as well. And we gave a whole bunch of different ways that you can do that. Instagram, you guys, is one of my new favorites to go and like. I don't know if you know how to find new people on Instagram, but I'm really into like finding target deals. And so if you go and there's a little search magnifying, and you can type in target deals, and then everyone that posts about target deals comes up. I mean, I followed like 5 new people yesterday because I wanted to know target deals. So imagine if you could go find new people to follow on Instagram that have the same similarities as you, and you're able to follow them and start connecting with them and grow your business through Instagram that way, through connections and stuff. Super important. And then share your lifestyle on social media. How are you on social media? Are you excellent, or are you not so great? We're actually reading a really good book that could help you with that too, as well. But make sure that you are being consistent in how you are showing up for your business on social media, whether that is making one newsfeed post a day, or whether that is stories. I can't tell you enough how this book is really good too, but you may want to share personal things in your newsfeed, but then quick snippets in your stories, or you may want to share about the sale in your newsfeed, and then some other details of the sale in your stories, however, whatever that looks like to you. But start being very consistent in how you're doing that. And it's hard, you guys. You may not get all 5 days in. I just want to tell you this. You may not get all 5 days in every single category of this, right? And we want you to know that right now, that is okay. What we want to see is effort and growth. That's all we want to see through this. We want to also see your authenticity. So, if you have let's say you're Karen, and we're doing a connection call, and you're like, Karen's like, Hannah, I am just not good at getting out and moving my body. Like, I'm just going to be all real about it. And I'd be like, well, okay, how can we work on that? How can we adjust and modify this, to something that does work for you? We are all about, helping you find those areas in your business and adjusting and modifying them to work for you. And that's in any of this. Fill up your cup, serve the people at your table, or build your business. And then the last one at the bottom is invite a new person to host a party of any kind. You guys, we are a party hosting business. Home parties may scare some of you. You may have never done one. That's okay. Basket parties, pouch parties, Facebook parties, shopping links, whatever it looks like, however you are partying and getting that PRV, we want to see you keep growing in that. Okay. And then the last part, you always need to celebrate. So celebrate, what did you do well this week? Maybe what are 3 things that you are proud of this week? And if you want to be real, what's some things that you struggled with? And then take this to your superstar director at the end of each week, and send it to her, snapshot, whatever, take a picture of it. And that way we can keep you accountable, because you're in this group to grow your business, and we want to help you. This is just a tool. This is one tool that we'll put in your toolbox, so to speak. And this can really encourage and keep you accountable to how you're growing your business too. So any questions about any of that? I did post it in the group again, like I said, for you. But how are you feeling about this tracker? Are you liking it? Are you overwhelmed? What do you think? You can type
So,
it in the chat, or you can
I'm
unmute.
just gonna unmute. Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
I feel like I do a lot of that already. I think what I might feel overwhelmed with is just like making sure I'm checking off the boxes.
Yeah.
But I know I can do it. I hope that nobody else feels overwhelmed by all the boxes. Just, I mean, if you start getting in the habit, just do it. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it's okay if you don't get them all checked in. It's okay if you like at the end of your like Friday and you're like, crap, I didn't check my boxes. And you just spend 5 minutes and you go back and evaluate your week and see which ones you did do on the days, and then check them off then, right? We're not going to boot you out because you didn't have all your boxes checked. Okay. And we want to, like I said, we want to just see consistency in these areas. And see your growth too. So,
But for
Some pe-
people who struggle with figuring out how to spend their time or staying on task, having something to check off is a really great way to keep you on track. It's like that time blocking in your planner, right? Like it's in front of you. You sit down and you know what you should be doing in your business. And some people get really competitive and want the streak to continue. So like they don't want to that like they will do, 5 straight days because they want to get those done. So use it how it works with you though, but different people are, motivated in different ways.
yeah. And if you can schedule any of it out, like spend your Monday, Amanda just said power hour with your tracker. Imagine spending Monday and getting all of like posting on social media, like scheduling that out and checking off all those days on Monday. Like if you can schedule anything out, if you can, push yourself more one day than the other, like that's what we want to see too. So,
And if you're a project broadcast person, there's other things on there that you can schedule out. Some of that one-on-one connection with your customers and even with your frontline or your team, you can schedule out on project broadcast.
can I share an oops that I did today? Because I want you guys all to know that I'm human. I scheduled a project broadcast for the sale to go out to my customers. I have over 700 customers in this list. And I was being super cool, okay? Because I sent it out and I was like, type back flash if you want a daily reminder for that day. I'm going to be on a flight, so I can't even just send a text out. You guys, it sent the flash to every single person. They didn't even have to respond with flash. It sent the initial message, and then right away it was like, awesome, thanks. You'll be put into my reminder text. I have people that are like, I didn't even respond with flash. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm sitting getting my nails done tonight. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like,
Are you like counting how many credits you just used for that too? Oh, that wouldn't count as a credit because it's an ongoing conversation, yeah?
Oh, no, it did. It
No,
did.
it double
It was
counts.
a keyword. It was a
Yeah.
keyword. So I just want you all to know, I sit at the top of the mountain and sometimes I fall so hard. So we all have learning curves too. So.
All right, Carol, you're up.
Okay. So you've got we told you the why, we told you what to do, like with your sheet every week. And I just want to wrap it up with, here's the deal. We really want you to get kicked out of this group, which means you get to move on to the director group. So ultimately, you guys are doing the things that need to be done to reach director. Maybe your teams just kind of suck and they're not really fully supporting you in this endeavor to get up to director. So by doing these daily tests and then teaching this down to your team, you're going to be able to soar. And I just think being in a group of like-minded people is what is needed nowadays, right? We need to collab with people who are in the same boat, having the same struggles, doing the same thing day after day. And so, because sometimes it's hard to be dependent on other people's stuff to get you to the next level. And so that's what we want to do, is to help you work through that right? And help you get to this next spot. And some of you have been director before, but you just promoted prematurely. You promoted during when things were really awesome and high, and now that things have normalized again, it's just more difficult, right, for you to maintain those numbers. And so, but that's fine, because we're just going to rebuild and we're going to restart, we're going to regrow. And so we're super excited that you chose to take this on. And just know, like, I love checking off lists. So having this list tracker, I think is pretty rad, where it's just like, check, 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 boom, I'm a badass, right? And so now you can be like super excited when you get done with this list. So don't look at it as like, oh, I got to do this list, I'm super overwhelmed. No, I'm a business owner. I'm going to do this and I'm going to rock it. And then we're going to be going and trucking every week and just continuing to get better and better and better. And so I hope that's what you take out of this group, is that we are just going to keep getting better and better. And all through this year, continue to work on and then get kicked out. Literally get kicked out of this group, and on to the next and most amazing group. So we're super thrilled to be here with you guys and along the journey, because we want to work with you. And we have successful businesses. So, you know, we don't have to do this, but we want to do this for you. Does that make sense? Right? So we want to do this because we want to bring the rest of you up to where we are. And you can all get there. There's no reason why you can't. It's available to you. Are you willing to take the reins and run with it? That's the question. Are you guys in? Yeah, because we're super excited. I'm glad you're here. And we appreciate you for coming, because otherwise, you know, we'd just be talking to ourselves. And but I know that you might be nervous. This is new for us too. We're just doing something different, because you know what? We don't know 100% of what works. Everything's a crapshoot. We just kind of like, hey, let's try it and see. But we have a general idea of what it takes to build a successful business, and we can certainly help you along the way. So that's what we're super excited about. And I think it's going to be a fun time. But I do encourage you to make friends and get to know the other people in this group, because they're going to be your, we'll call it boot camp. So when you make director and you get to go to boot camp at the Scentsy home office, you're at a group of like 60 people, and they literally become your friends for life. And so what we're really hoping is that you guys will be your friends for life, and you guys will all be the next class. You'll be the class of 2023, and that you will be graduating this year into the director class. Okay, so that's our goal, right? We're going to school, we're going to have a good time, and we're going to really work this business. So, okay,